got a great AI automation workflow using make.com that I think you're going to really like. It's going to start with an RSS feed, maybe through rss.app or your own website or any website that you want. It's going to go through, do some AI, and then at the end, this is where the magic happens, it's going to output suggestions to an Airtable for your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn account. Obviously, you could add or remove as you'd like, but what's really cool is that since we're sending this to an Airtable, we actually have to approve it and go to a second step before it gets posted. That way we can ensure the quality of the content. We can make any edits that we want before we're putting it out there. This is great for individuals or for teams because you can have a team member approve it first. Now, before we jump into this, I do want to give credit where credit is due. This whole automation workflow I found through AI automation with Jack. He's on 𝗧cie.com. There is a fee for joining, but what's really cool is you can actually upload the blueprint directly to Make, so I don't have to build all this out. Granted, you got to put in all of your own connections, may it be to ChatGTP, may it be to your social media accounts, but everything that you see here is already built out, except for some changes that I needed for my own, but we'll get into that as we go through. So let's go through this automation. It does look kind of big. The nice thing is the right side is pretty much just replicates itself, so it's really not that bad. Let's start with the RSS feed. Essentially, we're putting in a URL to an RSS feed that could be anything that you would like it to be. Then what it's going to do, we're going to use this HTTP, and it's going to grab that URL and grab the information. After that, we need a parser that's actually going to parse the data. And so I already ran this once, so you can kind of see what's going on. So it's grabbing the HTML. You can see the input is the HTML, and then the output is going to be this text right down here. So all of this information is what is pulled from the website itself. So it grabbed a URL, it pulled the information, and that's everything that we have here. This is the first problem that I ran into personally, is that because there's the main body of the content right here. However, there's a lot of additional junk, just extra stuff from the website that I don't need. And it created issues, token issues with my ChatGTP account. Essentially, it said, hey, you're only allowed so many tokens per minute. I wasn't hitting a daily limit, I was hitting a per minute limit. And so I'm going to show you a workaround that I figured out for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that into here. The first workaround that I did is I actually created I think I created an asset, if I'm not mistaken, or an assistant, yeah. So I created an assistant for this, and essentially I said, hey, take the text from that text parser and give me a condensed version. Get rid of all the extra URL stuff. I don't need all the extra website information. I just want the main content of that blog post. And the reason why I did that is when we cut out a lot of that text is we're using less tokens, so I was able to continue the process versus error out. The next really neat part of this is you will need a Perplexity account, is that Perplexity is going to jump in here now and evaluate the information. It's going to do some research. If you're not familiar, ChatGTP does not have direct access to the internet. It only has access to its database. Perplexity gives the AI access to the internet. So it's going to go through, it's going to run all this information through, it's going to collect some information and output it. And then we're going to get a snappy summary. Now, the snappy summary is another script that's going to be a ChatGTP script. And essentially, it's going to ask that you create an article. It's got some requirements as far as the length and all the fluff. And I want to reiterate that all of this came from Jack's school. So I didn't have to actually I copied and pasted this. I didn't type this out. I have amended it for my own personal needs. But the great thing about the school is you download the blueprint and everything's in there. So let's go to tools. So this is another area that wasn't part of the original blueprint. It's something I put in. Remember earlier I said I was maxing out on tokens when I would run this script. So I would get through the snappy summary and I had used too many tokens to complete the next step. So my workaround is to include a delay, essentially, this delay timer, and I set it for 61 seconds. That way I had a full minute before it would do another process. That way my tokens would reset. And I had to include a couple other ones as I went through. As I kind of tested this, I'd run into a token issue. I'd have to enter this delay in here in order to work my way past that problem. So Midjourney, we're going to incorporate a Midjourney prompt. It's basically going to say, hey, pull some information out of here. Quick interruption, Ryan here. If you're one of those people struggling with AI and trying to figure out how to make it work for you without pulling out your hair, I have put together a group where we're going to get together every 2 weeks online for an hour, talk about pain points, solutions, and figure it out together. So instead of watching another video trying to figure out how to do something and not being able to figure it out, just get together. Let's talk about it. Let's find those solutions. Best thing, cost only $20 a month for the first 10 people. Of course, there's more information down below. Get an idea of what type of prompt you would make for Midjourney, because we're going to need that for Instagram. Now, this is where things maybe look a little bit more complicated. We get to the router. The router is just saying, hey, take this one piece of input and then push it out to all these other locations. So here we're going to go into Airtable, or everything's going to finally end up in Airtables, but you can see this is Facebook. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit better. So what we're doing here is we want to make sure that we've got this article, we've condensed it, we've got a snappy summary of this article now, we got the gist of it, but I can't put the same content on each platform because each platform has different requirements. So what this one does is it goes through an assistant on ChatGPT. And basically it's saying, hey, take this information, run it through the assistant, and then output it to an Airtable. And that's what it's doing here. I'm going to show you the assistant first. And within ChatGPT, just in case you're not aware, you can go in. And of course, I am not on the right page. Where are my assistants at? So here we are. If you go to ChatGPT, you go to their playground, just Google Playground, ChatGPT, we have an option here on the left-hand side for assistants. And here, this happens to be the Instagram assistant, but you'll see I have a couple of different ones for different programs that I'm running. Midjourney, I got LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. These are the instructions, which again, I just got the full blueprint, just copy and paste, really convenient using Jax. Or if you'd like to join me, I've got a weekly training also, and we can talk about how you do this. But what's important about these instructions, or these bots, if you will, this one's my ChatGPT, or excuse me, this is my Instagram agent, is that this is creating a specific tone of voice for the platform. So we're talking about length, we're talking about the actual brand voice. All of that gets built into this bot here. And one of the nice things is it also gives examples of what the output should look like. So we're really able to confine what ChatGPT ideally is going to give us back. It's what is the output. And if you start running this, maybe you use it with a new client, is you can change and create a new bot for each new client so that the voice is pretty much the same, but the structure is, or the voice is going to be different, but the structure is going to be similar because it needs to be similar. I have various agents for the different types of social media. And then what happens is all of this then gets fed to an Airtable. Now, I've already run this scenario. This is a two-part scenario, just as an FYI. But what happens is we connect this to Airtable, and then you can see here's the information. It tells us the platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We've got the content here. We've got a Midjourney prompt when it's relevant, and all the information. Now, what's neat about this, remember what I said earlier, is that you could have an assistant then come in, or yourself, and actually look at this information. So let's take a look at it. All right, here's the snappy summary, here's the enriched article, here's the actual content. So one of the things that ChatGTP doesn't always do a good job of is actually listening to its rules. It is not supposed to be adding these double asterisks in here, so I want to remove those. Essentially, if you're familiar with Markdown format, it's trying to make this bold, which is great, but Facebook doesn't understand Markdown format, so this is just not going to be helpful. So we're going to go ahead and edit this. Now, this is also designed to be a long content post. I have other systems in place for shorter content, and I like to mix match short versus long on the same article. That way we get multiple styles of content being output to Facebook. And this is good for testing, and it's also good for different personality types, because some people like more content, other people like shorter. So for those that like longer content, we're going to go ahead and have it. This looks pretty good. You can see it's using emojis throughout. It's got 6 points here. We also have our hashtags that we're going to do. We've also got a mid-journey prompt if we want to include an image. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now what I can do is in the status for Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and improve this. Now, just for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and improve all of these. Dun, dun, dun. And I believe LinkedIn I am not going to approve, because for this account I don't have LinkedIn set up, unfortunately. So what have we done so far? So far, let's go get this. By the way, if you hit auto align here, this is really cool because it just kind of cleans everything up and gets it to fit on the screen. So let's walk through what we've done. We've taken an RSS feed, we've extracted the information, and by the way, this RSS feed, I only pulled one. You can see the maximum number of returns, but if you wanted to run this once a week as an example, and you're doing an article a day, that would be 7 articles. You could actually have this return 7 items and then just get a full week of content set up for you. So you do have that option, but we've got the RSS feed, we're extracting the information. We're then pulling the text out of it, because this is all just straight HTML information. We're going to pull the text out of it. This is an extra step that I added because I found that the content, the text was just too much. It had a bunch of the website stuff in there that I didn't need, and it was causing token issues. So I've added a step here to extract the main points of the article. We put that in the Perplexity and said, hey, go get some extra information. I'm going to show you why. There's a little super secret why Jack did this that I think is really smart. Then we have our snappy summary, essentially taking a shortened, condensed summary, and that one that is going to be engaging. So we're going to be looking for good hooks in order to capture the reader. I put a pause on this. Remember, that's what that tool is. It's a 61-second timer that pauses things. It's going to go to a mid-journey prompt, and then out of here, we're going to send it to a router, which is going to do Facebook, Instagram. We got LinkedIn. Oh, here's another tool. I've had to put another pause in it. So you can see after this pause, it would run through here, and then I had to put another pause to get it to go, and then another pause here. The great thing about these systems is that they're easily modifiable. So find something that works and then tweak it until you get it just the way you like it. We haven't really talked about this section right down here. If I can zoom in, this is really cool. For those of you that are doing YouTube or doing shorts, one of the things that Jack did, he goes, okay, we have all this content, but if you wanted to actually do a script, we've got a couple of cool things in here where it's actually going to go through, analyze the content, and it is going to come up with some viral hooks. These are going to be catchy hooks, essentially titles, if you will, to get people's attention. There's some really good examples in here, and you're going to have 3 hook options when the system's all done. And then it's also going to write a script for you and put that into Airtable. What we've done, we have all that. We've now approved it. So the second thing we need to do is there is a second part of this system, and now it's going to go from Airtables, output the information, and send it to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You'll see I don't have LinkedIn connected right now because this account doesn't have that set up. So let's go ahead and run this once. And you can see it's pulled the Airtable, it's running it through the router, it just went through Facebook, it's creating a Midjourney photo right now. And once this process gets complete here in the photo section, it's going to output to Instagram. And then the last thing it should do is connect to Twitter. So let's go ahead and jump on Twitter as an example while we're waiting. So here we are, we have logged into Twitter, and here we go. Where is it at? Here we go, 2 minutes ago. So it's already connected automatically, that information. And of course, it's also gone out to Facebook and Instagram. Let's check Instagram. I'm just curious what the image looks like. All right, let's check out and see what Instagram had done for us. So not bad. Selecting the best safety toe boot can safeguard your feet and wallet. What are your priorities? Safety, quality, or comfort? We got a couple emojis, hashtag safety toe boots and workwear. And we've got this really cool AI image that was all done automatically. I'm curious what you think about this automation. I would say this is going to be a little bit more complex, but remember that a lot of it, as far as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those were all duplicates. So really not a lot of steps, but I think it really makes things efficient. The other thing that's really cool with Make.com, if you're not familiar with it, is that you can run this setting automatically. So if you're setting a blog post every day, as an example, instead of running this every 15 minutes, we could actually change it to 60 minutes as an example. Or if we wanted to, we could figure out what 24 times 60 is and do it once a day, whatever it is that you would like. And then all you got to do is turn the scheduling on and it will automatically run in the background and you never have to worry about it. So curious what your thoughts are, anything that you would do differently, what you would like to see. Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. Until next time, take care.